It's Dave from Flash and Dance DJ and Production Services. Hopefully everybody out there, my fellow roadies, you're doing well. And I hope you're going to get some educational content about today. So, we're going to talk about a couple of different things. We're going to talk about prep. We're going to talk about taking time off. And we're going to talk about stage looms. Now, stage looms have been around for a long time. Now, stage looms have been in different various waves, forms, and fashions over the years. They've started off as simply as, you know, when XLR cables first came out, you basically had single ones and stuff like this, or you'd have Siamese, meaning that there's more than one, there's two together or something like that. So basically, you have a couple different ways of doing this. And I apologize if I'm talking a little fast. I don't mean to. So, as you can see here, I've got this one. This is a Seismic Audio XLR snake. It's a SAR LX 16 by 15. What that means is it's 16 channels by 15 feet. So this particular one is a 15 footer. So basically, it has 16 inputs on one side, and it has 16 outputs on the other, 15 feet long. So if I'm doing a stage that's 40 feet wide, it gives me the opportunity that, say my DL32 is 20 feet away, I can run a 25 foot. And let's say I've got keyboards a little bit further up. Instead of running, I can run a pair of XLRs if I'm doing stereo, run that behind the drum kit. But say I have more than that, I can take this and use however many 1 through 6 or whatever, make sure they're just patched on the right channels. That's why on the bigger two that I have, typically what I will do is on this end of it, which is the input side, I will label the inputs so I know what's what, just so I know it. And that's part of the preparation I do. The one that's in one of the cases over there is all prepped with those labels on them. And another way that I do it is, like, for example, with this. So this one is I've got some trash on it, which is okay. So this is my Tom 1 and Tom 2 and my ride mic snake. So these are for my club when I go to the jetty. This makes it nice and easy. So as you can see, there's friction tape on it, which is this stuff right here, which is made by Red Wolf. This is an automotive branded friction tape that you can just wrap cables with, make them nice, neat. And the reason why I've wrapped these is because these used to be part of other looms that I would use, which were part of my main one. I've changed my XLRs in my main rig over to Pig Hog. Love them. The touring level, I will recommend that to everybody. I love NLFX, I love Audio-Technica, I love Hosa, I love all the brands that are out there, CBI. I used CBI for years and years, and I also used Audio-Technica for years and years. I just found that Pig Hog, there's something about their cables that I just like, and maybe it's the thickness of that quality feels really rugged. But anyway, so when I go to the jetty, this will be my loom for Tom 1, Tom 2, and my ride mic. And then what'll happen is I'll take one of these, like this one right here with the green tape on it. This one will become my hi-hat cable. And then, as you can see here, I've got one. That's a 4-pair. See? Four inputs. And this is the mic side. This goes to the stage box. So on this one, we've got kick out, kick in, snare top, snare bottom. The snare bottom one is a little bit longer than it should be, but that's okay. So as you can see, there's a couple of different ways. The other way, like if you're doing a big tour or you own a bigger production company, sometimes what you might do is you have a multi-pair snake, and sometimes on bigger stages what they'll do is they'll run these drop snakes, which also, let's say you decide you're going to take 24 input boxes and you're going to drop them in 3 or 4 different places. You basically can get these stage boxes that have in and outs, it gives you full 24, which has pass-throughs. So now what you can do is you can drop one on upstage right, upstage center, and upstage left. So now basically you label these boxes. So say you're going to use this as a backline right, backline left, and drum drop. So basically what you would do is put this right across the back end of the stage, you know, for those that don't know those terminology. And basically what happens is you label the stage boxes. So like, for example, say 1 through 12 is your drum kit. You can actually take E-tape, or you could take, we'll use this. So here's another form of gaff tape, white gaff tape. You could actually take white or black gaff tape, or even board tape, and you can cover up 1 through 12 on it and put not in use. And then you basically can label the rest of, you know, so you go 13 through, say, 24. So say you could even cover up 13 and 14, for example. So 1 through 12 is your drums. So when you get to your stage box, you plug in 1 through 12, it becomes your stage box, you know, for your drum kit. So that becomes all your drums. And then 13 and 14 can become your samples, for example. And then the rest of the channels can be open, and you can have them labeled where, you know, so 15 and 16, for example, could be key left and right, or key 1 and 2. And then you could do guitar stage left, guitar stage right. You could do auxiliary channels, anything like that, and but have it all on one long cable that goes across the back of the stage. So now everything's covered across the back of the stage. So that, my friends, my fellow roadies, is what a stage loom or stage snake is. Okay, now let's talk about prep. So with prep is something like this. Putting cables, putting looms together, labeling them like that. Taking a snake like this and taking these input sides and putting board tape or white gaff tape on them and labeling what the inputs are. So the other part of it is working on lighting stuff. So with that being said, I'm going to show you some prep work I'm doing for the Circle CG campground. So right here we have my lighting laptop. Okay, this is an HP that I love, and it is a touch screen which runs Show Express. It takes up barely any horsepower of it, but it's really powerful. And then right here is an AKI Professional APC Mini MK2. And what this is a MIDI controller that you can program into Show Express over MIDI. So so the way I have this set up for this particular show is going to be Blizzard Tough Storm colors, Blizzard Tough Storm chases, haze, because this could be an outside event, so that's why I'm doing that. In a pavilion. So then I've got the shockers, which are new lights. These are strobe lights and color LED chase type lights. So that's there between those. Platinum 5R combos, Platinum 5R macros, and show macros. So these each one light up different colors, and these are just static colors. These are chases for those. I only have 3 of these set up for the haze, which is quarter, half, and full. And then this is for actually strobe effects that I have built into the shocker, which I'll show you that light. And I'm going to be doing a review on that for one of the Tech Tip Wednesdays. These are chases that I have built in for the LED parts of it, which I'll explain that light real quick in a minute. Then you have the Platinum 5 movers, which these are the combos, which will be a combination of colors and movements that are built in together. And then macros are where multiple things like the color, the movement, the gobos, prism, stuff like that will be there. Okay, another thing that I've programmed is this is the dimmer dedicated for the Blizzard Tough Storms. Then I have a dimmer set for the shockers, and then I have a dimmer set for the Platinum 5s, and then I have a master speed and I have a master dimmer on this. So here's what's cool about this. So say all the lights are perfect, but the shockers are a little bit too bright in their chases. I can actually dim just the shockers and still have full brightness going on for everything else. Now, here's another cool thing. You have all these lower buttons here, and then you have all these buttons here. I've taken this one right here, and I've turned this into my BPM. So when I'm DJing, because I'm doing an 80s weekend at a campground, what'll happen is I can press this, and this will set my BPMs for how fast these are working, how fast this is working, and how fast those are moving. Now, as I had said, here is the Shocker 2, the Shocker FX. I got 2 of them for now, and what's cool about them, so you can see, these all get broken down into different LED effects. Here is some, those are strobes. So you can use these as blinder effects. You can use these as chase effects. You can use these as a strobe light, which the strobe won't be getting used too often, but it's nice to have. So if you're doing a public event, like I did the Freetown 4th of July, and just in case I needed to grab attention, I had this programmed as a white fixture, and then my Tough Storms I had programmed with white as well. So if I hit B on the keyboard, if I hit this, it would turn these, and it would turn the Blizzard Tough Storms white to grab everybody's attention. So one more thing I want to talk about, and then we'll wrap this up, because it is almost 1 o'clock in the morning. I want to get this up because by the time you guys are seeing this, I'm going to be in New York. So also doing business stuff, you also need to take a step back. You need to live your life. You need to reset every once in a while, and that's what the next couple of days are. I'm disappearing. I am going to put my phone on silent. Only people I want to hear from is my nephew, my mom, my mother-in-law. That's, maybe even my sister-in-law, but she'll probably get a hold of my wife when needed. I don't want to hear anything from my part-time job. Yes, if a client tries to get a hold of me, I will deal with them and talk to them. But the plan is to unplug and spend some time with my wife, do a little bit of shopping, going around New York. We're staying near Times Square, so that'll be good. This is the second time we're going to New York, but we're going to a place that we've never been to before, Madison Square Garden. That should give people a hint. I've hinted at it. We are going to see Bon Jovi. This could be the last time he's going to play live. So me and my wife made the decision when he decided that this could be his last ever tour. We were going to go see him. I ended up getting tickets. This is probably the most I've ever spent on a current concert ticket because of what I do. I get to see a lot of great shows by working them. Like tonight, I was able to get my buddy Will in working at Moonshine Alley, which thank you, Pete, for bringing him in, and I'm glad that everything worked out. Will told me about a couple things that happened. Nothing major. It didn't prevent the show from happening. However, they got through it. Everything was good. I'm happy. He's happy. Sounds like Pete was happy over at Moonshine Alley, and the staff over there was happy. So that's all I can ask for. And Cat Country, because it was a Cat Country show. So thank you, Will. Want to send you a shout out for that. So basically, the next couple of days are going to be complete decompression. I'm going to the show in 2 ways. I'm going to take a step back and become a husband and a fan of Bon Jovi, as well as a production person. What I mean by that is next week, there is no gig log. I'm not coming back until Saturday night. Probably not till, I won't probably be home till 7 o'clock. We are doing travel by train, so that'll be a nice little thing. So we're gonna, on the 23rd, which is Thursday, we're gonna go do some shopping and things like that, and then we're gonna go back to the hotel, probably take a nap, and then we're going to Madison Square Garden. We've never been there, so this will be the first experience for both of us going there. Another thing that is going to be interesting is to see how front of house is set up and to see the stage set up. So you guys will have a review. I am going to review it, and it's going to be as a fan review as the first part of it, and then the second part of it I will talk about the production side of it. I did a little bit of research. I think they're using Clare Brothers, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to try and do a little bit of research and try and figure out who the front of house guy is, Gonna figure out what sound system they're using. I know they're on ears, which is more than likely the Shure PSM 1000s. But I want to see if I can figure out what, not per se, but I want to find out if I can, just looking through pictures, are they using MA2? Are they using MA3? Are they using MA3 Lite? Are they using MA2 Lite? You know, is there a separate video console area, or is it, you know, because they are doing IMAG, which is live video, is it the video guy tied with the tied with lighting, and is lighting putting it out, you know, that kind of a thing. You can tell, being involved in this stuff, you can kind of tell what's going on. I will also want to see if I can kind of see what kind of console the front of house guy is, if I can figure out who the front of house guy is by doing a little bit of research, and then, you know, talk about the set list and how his voice was and things like that. Because as a lot of fans of Bon Jovi know, he had surgery to reconstruct his throat. And from the reels, the videos, and the shorts I've been seeing, I am really looking forward to this. People will say, oh, you're ruining it by watching those. No, I'm not ruining it, because watching something on video or on a phone, you're not in the moment. You're not with the musician doing their entertainment thing. So with that being said, I'm going to say thank you so much for being with me rambling and things like that. I will talk to everybody when I get back. You know, if you are on my social media, Facebook, Instagram, all that. I'm bad at Instagram, so I apologize about that. I got to try and start, you know, dual posting Facebook and Instagram when I get to events and stuff like that. But anyway, I am going to try and post some pictures throughout the weekend. I may do a photo dump at the end of it. I don't know. That part of it is way off in the distance. Right now, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I want to get home, edit this, get this up, so that way while I'm, you know, in New York, you guys will get to see this. So with that being said, don't forget to treat others the way you want to be treated, and also make sure you learn one thing every day. And I hope today you learned about it, and I will see everybody next week for a review of the Bon Jovi Madison Square Garden show on the 23rd. All right, so I'll see you then.